Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just going to do kind of an interesting video. Maybe I can help a couple of players out. And, I always say this in my videos. I am not a master at this game. I am not a technology specialist completely, but I think I have enough experience and kind of knowing what's working for me that maybe I can put out a video just to kind of help maybe explain some questions or give some tips and just help other players enjoy this game a little bit more and give a better understanding of, what am I doing here? What can technologies does one technology setup do it all? And technically, I mean, you can have a general overall technologies. I do have a video up there that I show my general technology, but here's the downfall to it. You might not get the high score on your Titan, your Legion boss. You might not be able to beat some bigger players on Planet Wars and Star Scramble. There's a plus and minus. The plus to it is you're not continually using diamonds to reset your technology for everything that you're doing. And so me right now, I am set up into a Star Scramble technology. And so my big things here is what are we doing? We're playing against players. And so as far as enemy weakened, reduce damage from aerial enemies, including players. And right there it's saying it, guys, against players. So what is Star Scramble and Planet Wars? We're playing against players. And so I want to maximize both the increased damage and the defense against a player. This is a must for me, and especially if the team needs somebody to step it up and try to take out some of the bigger players. And then my other one here is the base armor. I will always 100% the base armor. Now, your weapon setup is a little bit debatable. You're going to hear people and players say, hey, do your base, do your base. Some of the bigger players are going to say, do your critical rate and critical damage only. I'm not a huge fan of the wing gun. I think we've proved, and everybody, especially, mid-range players have been playing this, know that the wing gun's not the most powerful. And so in Star Scramble, especially, some of the bigger players will say, do your critical rate and damage on also the wing gun. But for the technologies that I have, I don't have quite enough to completely pour into that. And I would rather put it into what I know works, which is my missile and my main gun. And so again, you can play around with this, but this little setup right here for me, especially going after a bigger player lately, has really been doing the job. And so again, you can play around with this, but I'm telling you guys, the damage increase and enemy weaken, um, that's where it's at for one to start with. And again, some of the newer players, just equal out a little bit more to this and save a little bit for, your weapons. How are you going to set it up? Again, you can do the base. You can do it different ways. But again, this for some odd reason has been working good for me. And just to go into this just a little bit further, I will go. I'm a huge Hard Rock fan as far as going after bigger players. Hard Rock can work, and it does work. And one of the reasons being is it gives you a lot more HP, which means you can. So if somebody's in a Conquer and you're in your Hard Rock, you can take more damage from that Conquer to give back more hits to them, is kind of the idea. And so if I go like this, watch my power at the top there, guys. I'm going to select the Conquer, and I'm just a little over 2 million with the Conquer. And one advantage, though, and some will kind of, go back and forth. Well, the Conquer gives you the 10x, the 10x, the 10x, and that is true. But again, if somebody's in their Hard Rock, that Hard Rock's going to be able to take a few more of those 10x's versus maybe a Conquer versus Conquer. So the Hard Rock is a pretty effective tool into Star Scramble and Planet War, so do not scratch that off the list, and especially if you're going after bigger players, I would insist on trying it. And so right here, here's the Hard Rock, guys. I'm going to select it, and look what happened. It jumped up substantially. And then when you go to Planet Wars and you go to Star Scramble, you are going to see your HP just jump up there. And so this isn't completely an offensive ship, but being more defensive can give you more offense, is again kind of the strategy and how this works a little bit. So, but just to show you guys, and also your gym setup is important, guys. Again, depending on if you're going to Titan or if you're going to different things here, your gyms are everything here. So if I was going after Titan, here's fighter against boss, and this is what you would want against Titan. Even Legion bosses, this could be kind of important. But if I'm doing Star Scramble, what is going to happen is I want to put my aerials all the way across the board. Believe it or not, just because your strongest gem is giving you more seemingly base power does not mean that it's giving you more power against what you're going after. So scratch that off the board. And if you're fighting again in Planet Wars or Star Scramble, you're going to want to go into here, and you're going to want to put in, so here's your ground, and you're going to want to put in basically your aerial biggest gems all the way across the board here, guys. So just because your other gems are bigger and giving you a bigger base does not mean you're going to get more power. These gems are pretty specific in stating what they're doing. So if I go back now, look at that. I am ready to go and compete with a bigger player potentially by setting my gym up a lot smarter on that support cabin there. And so that's just food for thought here, guys. And so I'm going to leave this like this because, again, I went to Legion Boss and Titan, and I was like, why am I getting a lower score? And so I'm going to show you guys why it's important to kind of, messing around with this a little bit, but also kind of doing it specifically for what you're going after. But I can maybe give a tip, when you get into those really tough missions and those dang ground lasers and things like that, it's not a bad idea to put your ground gems on to get past some of those missions, for another example. So, you can get specific into these gems of what they're doing and what you're doing into the game. And yes, it can make a pretty big impact on the results here. So, just depending on what you guys are doing, just don't discredit these gems and don't think just one setup is, completely going to do it. Again, if you're going after something specific, well, be specific and change your gems to what you're doing also. So, but I'm going to leave these the way they are. And so I think what I'm going to do is show you guys, and maybe I can make this a little bit faster by doing it instead of the Titan. I can use basically the Legion boss, and you know what? I'll use Hard Rock for this. I think it'll serve a purpose. We'll do 2 of my Star Scramble technology setup, and then we'll change this, and then we'll go back, and maybe this will be a better test by using Hard Rock because we're not getting the 10x from the Conquer, and if we see an increased level by the technology and gem setup after I do this, then it's going to prove to you guys, yeah, there is different setups and different technologies and different ways to do this, again, depending on what you're doing. So I'll just use this as a basis, and yeah, we'll use Hard Rock. Why not? I think that would actually be better because we don't have anything, no 10x's again from the Conqueror to, saying, hey, that was way more, or we can just kind of use this as a basis here. And again, if you guys have a strategy or, you have a technology setup that's working for you, or any suggestions of this, please, that's what these videos are for, is just to, I'm here to learn just as much as, just, put this out there and maybe help somebody else out, but I don't have all of the answers. And again, I'm not a technology complete specialist, so, but I know what kind of works, and I've been doing this long enough, and I've been pretty successful with what I've been doing. And I do watch the Discord forums and a little bit here. Sometimes you can get a lot of bad advice in there, but sometimes somebody will actually give some good advice if you're paying attention. So I like the videos because I can see the proof. I don't, you know, you can take somebody's advice and it doesn't work. And so me personally, I like taking suggestions and different things like that, and then just doing a video. Let's just see what happens. And so, okay, so 84.7 billion with Hard Rock on my first round here. Let's just do one more with this, just to get a average of, you know, again, I'm in my Star Scramble setup here, guys. I'm not in my going against Legion Boss and Titan. So let's do this one more time here. And so let's see if we can get pretty close to 84 around there. And then, like I said, we'll get a little average here. Sometimes I like doing 2 just instead of 1, just to. And some players insist that your first round is always your lowest round. And I don't know if I completely believe that. I did a video and it was pretty comparable when I did the video, and I wonder if we should do another one if that's actually true. I haven't been able to prove it's not, and I haven't been able to say that it is. So, but we'll do 2 just to kind of break that little curse, so to speak, and we'll get our average. So right here, we did get a substantial amount versus our first run. So maybe that's true. So about 90.9 billion on my Star Scramble technology for playing Star Scramble against players. So what's going to happen here is I am going to pause this, guys, and I am going to set up for more of a Legion boss, and I'm going to set up more for a Titan, and let's see what the difference is here. Okay, guys, so here's round 2, and I didn't want to bore you to death by setting up a new technology specific for the Titan and Legion boss. And are we going to see a huge difference between the two? And again, your Planet Wars versus what we're about to do, there is a big difference. There is. And so maybe I can answer another question that keeps popping up a bit here. And one of the big questions is, maybe I should have put this more on the Planet Wars and Star Scramble technology, is basically right here, the armor damage. What is that? And so basically what that is it, don't look too far into it. Read it one more time. Increase armor damage. So a lot of us are failing to realize that our armor gives damage. Shock armor, you know, some of the armors give, actually all the armors except for the health give damage. And I'm not sure if the health does, but I wouldn't imagine if it's giving you health. But anyways, when you apply this, now let me make this specific. It does not give damage to the Titan or the Legion boss as far as I know. But we know that it gives damage against players, because when you go to your battle record in Planet Wars against a player and you look specifically in those rows, you'll see your armor sitting there. And that armor, it'll show you the hits. And in the other columns or descriptions in the battle record, it'll tell you how much the armor. Now, some of it doesn't look like it's that much, but any extra hits is better than no hits. And some of the bigger players I know actually really believe in it. I know in some of my older videos showing you guys, I do have the armor technology a little bit on there. And for me, for some odd reason, every time I do enhance that, even though you didn't see it in this one, it does seem like it works. And it does seem like you are a little bit more powerful. Even if it doesn't look like it's doing that much damage, I just wonder if it just kind of calibrates things just a little bit different by at least activating it, if that makes sense how I said that. So, and it was kind of what I was saying about your technologies. You know, even though we know the wing gun is the weakest, still put a little bit on there just to give an overall activation together. And, you know, maybe that's not true. Maybe that is true, but it just seems like it just, for me, it just gives me a little bit more comfort, and it does seem like it works a tiny bit better. So, but right here, guys, I am in Titan mode and Legion boss mode, and here we go, though. You see my main gun base. I do believe in the base on the Titan, and I do believe in the base for the Legion boss. And so, a little tiny bit, like I said, on the main gun attack rate, even though I know it doesn't really do too much, if anything, to the Titan especially. But I'm still going to add just a little bit on there. It's just kind of just me. And so I really focus in again on the critical damage and critical rate. And you guys can see this is a completely different setup than my Star Scramble and Planet Wars. And so again, we're going after what, guys? Bosses. So Legion, boss, Titan, even though it says it's a foe, I get it all the time still. Even I have a couple other videos proving that the Titan is a boss. I know it says foes, guys, but it is a boss. You can test that yourself by just taking off all your boss technology, go do the Titan, and then put the boss technology on and go do the Titan, and you're going to see an increase to your score. So don't waste any technology. I'm not a big fan in even using the strong foe technology at all. I don't use any technology in the normal enemies. Those are two areas I just don't ever use, and same with damage or your defense here. I don't use it at all. I would put my technology somewhere else. Now, one thing that can change here is the Titan, and this goes back to resetting all of the time for what you're doing. If you got a Legion boss that's ground, then you would want to, instead of aerial enemies, you do what? Put it on the ground, of course. And then if you're doing a ground Titan instead of aerial, then you would put your technologies on the ground. So there is a pretty big difference into how you would set this. So this technology wouldn't be the best setup against a ground. I mean, it's a great technology. You are going to maximize a little bit your score, but not technically to the ground. So again, just going back to the ground bosses versus aerial, just know which one they are, and you can specifically go after those with your technology and your gems. But here's the problem again, guys. You're always resetting this technology. It drives me crazy. It is time consuming, like literally time consuming. And so, but here I'm showing you guys Legion boss, my Titan setup that I'd be very comfortable. And you might be thinking, why don't you have as much on your defense as the offense? So I have tried this many ways. Is the defense better than the offense? Is the offense better? And it seems like if you go too much defense, you're going to lose a ton of points. If you go too much offense without a little bit of defense, you're going to lose points. And so the other thing is the damage increase and enemy weakened. These are incredibly expensive technologies. And I would rather do this setup and have a little bit of defense to go a little bit more offense, and it seems to work way better. So if you're asking yourself, well, why don't you equal your defense to your, I've tried it all, and I'm telling you guys, put some defense on, but don't slam it out, because again, too much defense you can actually lose, and again, too much offense you can lose. So this is just my little technology that I know that has been working really good for me. If anybody has better suggestions, please, leave a comment again. But this is a pretty killer little setup right here, guys. And then if you can, again, if you're the lower player, just equal this out to what this looks like. You don't have to have this exactly the same way, but just equal out to what you have to what mine looks like to a lower level, if that makes sense in how I said that. So, but this is my Titan, and this is what I'd be comfortable with. But let's take it a step further here, guys. Let's go back to the gyms, and what do I have? So I have fighter against aerial, fighter against aerial. The Legion boss is an aerial. This wouldn't be actually a horrible setup, but me personally, because I know it's a boss, and I have all of these aerials. Let me go back here. So all across that board is all aerials, guys. So if I was doing this, which I am doing it, I would get rid of some of this aerial, and I would put my boss attack in there. So now I'm getting the best of both aerial. It's an aerial Legion boss, and it is a what I just said, a boss. So let's put that in there. So right here, guys, I have boss attacks and I have aerial attacks in that cabin now. So pretty killer little setup right here. And again, I specifically honed in on what we're doing with the Legion boss, what type of Legion boss. And this is what I would comfortably go after the Titan with. And the reason why I'm not doing the Titan is we'd be here way longer. I think it takes me 12 minutes, 15 minutes to do the Titan. So I just didn't want to go too huge of a video on you guys. So the Legion boss will give us a good idea with shorter time here. So, but hopefully this is making more sense on your gyms here, guys. Me on here, you can see I have my fighter dodge, and if you look real closely, I do have one gym in on fighter reduced damage. Now you can go all dodge, and it seems like if you don't have a little bit of reduce, especially in Star Scramble, that you could lose even though you have nothing but dodge. I do believe that fighter reduce is a pretty important part of being able to beat a bigger player in Star Scramble. So just going a little bit backwards to go forwards with you guys. But and then of course my attack cabin is going to be what? It's going to be main gun, and then my other one is going to be my missiles. So, and I do like to even those out because they're both really, really good weapons. So since I'm here, I might as well just kind of go over that real quick. But let's focus back in. I am ready to go fight the Legion boss with my technology to Legion boss and Titan. And so let's see how much of a difference this makes. Is it going to make a big difference? And again, I'm in hard rock, which is good because, like I said, there's nothing enhancing. There's no 10Xs. This is just a good overall challenge here for us to see if the technology is that important or if it's not. And if you notice, I've done the exact same setup going in also. I've enhanced my missiles and I enhanced my main gun. So let's just see. So what were we at? 90 billion the last time with my Star Scramble setup. Versus I specifically want to go after a Legion boss. And let's see if there's a major increase or is it equal? And again, I really appreciate all you guys' comments and support. I really never expected so much out of this channel and videos, and just goes to show that other people do love the game and they have the same questions I did, and I just really appreciate the support. It really, really means a lot. But right here, guys, look at this already. I've already demolished my Star Scramble setup coming into my now Legion boss and my Titan setup, and look at that. I mean, we're talking billions. So yes, that technology and gym setup and other things are very important. And some will argue about the pilot. I'm a huge fan of Freya. And for me, guys, you can get as technical as you want. Is that an energy Titan? Is that an energy, this and that? And then you can set up your energy pilot or your physical defense pilot. And for me, I just think just use your best pilot. I mean, you can get that technical. Maybe I can get into another video and see if that really, really makes a huge impact. But I know Freya's pretty powerful for me, and I'm happy with her through the majority of the game. And so just going, you might be asking, well, what about your pilots? And don't get too hung up. You got to remember the attributes from all pilots apply to the pilot. So the only big difference is your energy side of it or your physical side of it. And so me, again, I just like to use Freya. I don't get that technical. Again, maybe we can do a video out of that down the road. Um, um, but just maybe answering that question before we're done here. But let's do this one more time. Like I said, we'll do 2 a piece. And again, I'm glad I used the hard rock because, again, it's not the Conqueror, and just giving something, for one, different, and 2, there's no 10x possibilities with the Conqueror at this point for this comparison and show and tell. And again, we were beating 90 with my Star Scramble, but on the flip side, guys, this technology, again, it's a killer setup, right? But if I go into Star Scramble or Planet Wars against a bigger player or somebody that has their technology set up the other way they are going to beat the pants off of me. And so, yeah, that technology set up between just, again, the Titans and the Legion boss versus, Planet Wars and Star Scramble makes a huge, huge difference. It does. So I would be okay as long as I'm kind of winning in Planet Wars just to leave this alone. But if I'm just getting beat or I need to beat somebody else for the team, I am going again to change over technologies. But right there, guys, I mean, average of 18 to 20 billion more. And now we're talking about billions. That's a lot. It really is. I mean, that's a lot. And again, if you're trying to nudge yourself into first place or stay into 10 to go into legend tier, here it is. Check your technologies, check your gems, and this is how I do it. Again, there's a million different ways you can. You can hear a million different ways from other players, but here's the video. Again, if anybody has any suggestions, comments, or just anything, tips, that's why this channel is here, is to just kind of help each other out and, just enjoy this game more and get a higher score. That's the whole goal. We're looking to get a higher score. So, again, I really appreciate you guys. Last but least, as I always say in the videos, just have fun. Just have fun. Don't hesitate to try something new. Don't hesitate to go out and do these tests yourself or test something else. If you find something cool, let us know. Let me know. And if you have ideas for tests also, leave me a comment or hit me in my email. But again, I really appreciate you guys. And one last time, have fun.